Hello and welcome to another YouTube video. I haven't done this in so long, but after the Blackpool convention I was inspired to get back into YouTube, and who better to interview than Craig?
I'm honoured. I'm honoured. You are the OG when it comes to YouTube. I mean,
Not really.
Yeah, man. Come on, you were doing YouTube while I had like 1 subscriber. Like,
Now you've overtaken me already. No, but honestly, before we start, I do want to say something. Craig just lectured at the Magic Circle, and not very often we get a standing ovation for a lecture at the Magic Circle, and you have to be honestly so proud of yourself for doing that. It's just unbelievable. That's what a lecture should be. So many lectures come here and they, it's kind of like a deal with them, that sort of thing. But this was actually inspired us to get back and find what magic we had in our drawers and stuff, and learn and be creative. And that's what it's all about. That's what I think this magic should be.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, you are incredible. So like I said, I'm so honored to have Craig here on this channel. And hopefully you get to learn something. And if not, Craig's got so much of stuff on his YouTube. I don't know what I want to ask him. I thought maybe I'll ask him about his tattoos or something about it. but I just don't know what, because he's got every video made already. So, in fact, let's start like I start every interview. Craig, when did you get into magic and how did it all spark for you?
How did it all start? I was a bit of a late into the game. I didn't get into magic until I was 18. So I was into performing but not into magic, and I was a redcoat at Butlins. So if you know Butlins,
okay, yes.
I was a redcoat, and I met a magician there, and his name was Ulysses, I remember his name, and I fell in love, not with him, with magic, and I basically, you got paid very little at Butlins, and you worked very, very hard, but every penny I made, I used to go down to Skegness, there was a little magic shop there, and I'd buy tons of tricks, and I'd come back and I'd learn them, and I basically spent my entire time at Butlins just spending money on Eddie Gibson coin tricks and all this different stuff, and that's when the bug bit, and I just carried it on from there.
Wow. So you are one of, I would consider, the hardest working magicians on social media. I don't even know how you do it. You make so many videos. So talk about your YouTube channel now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do 28 videos a week. 28 videos a week. And then on top of that, I do 2 podcasts. I do the Talk Magic podcast, and I do a podcast with Lloyd Barnes called The Magic Podcast. So probably about 30 different pieces of content a week, every week.
Oh my gosh, and I'm struggling to make 1 video a week. See, I need to learn from you. I have to, hopefully I get inspired.
I think it's stupidity, I mean, more than anything else. I'm in a very fortunate position in that I have 3 companies that are fairly successful, they do quite well. I have an office with staff in it, so a lot of if I was having to go out and market and find gigs and go out and run a magic business, I probably wouldn't have time to do Magic TV. But the fact is, I walked into the office I walked into the office just before COVID. I walked into my office and I felt like I was surplus to requirements. I walked into the marketing department and they were like, we don't need you. Walked into the sales department, they didn't need me. And they basically just said, go home. And at the same time, COVID hit, and I was like, well, I can't just sit here, it's not in my nature.
Yeah.
So I just said, well, I used to do a review show. Ryland and I were locked at home, so I was like, come on, Ryan, we'll film a video and we'll do a review, grab a trick and we'll do it, and that's where it started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, and look at it now. So you spoke about review shows, and that's how I knew you from. I never actually met you personally. All I could do was watch your Visit product review at that time, and you were pretty big in the magic community, and everyone was talking about you and Visit product review. And
yeah, me and Dave used to dominate the YouTube with the Wizard product review, and then what happened is I got busy. Well, I left the Wizard product review, and the reason I left is because if I'm being completely honest, I had my wife was a deputy head of a very large primary school, so she was really well paid, and I was doing okay as a magician, but just okay. But she was the breadwinner in the family for sure, and she came home from work one day and she said, I've got good news and I've got bad news. I said, okay, what is it? And she went, well, the good news is I'm pregnant. And I'm like, that's amazing. And she went, yeah, but the bad news is you now need to sort your shit out, Craig. You need to step up. I'm not going back to work full time. I need to now raise a family. I can't do this anymore. And she actually said to me, she said, you either make this magic thing work or you get a proper job. And you know, like in life, you have that moment where a switch flicks in your head.
Yeah.
That was my switch moment, because I knew that if I wanted to provide for my family and my unborn child, who ended up being Ryland, I knew that I had to start making good money as a magician, and I couldn't rely on her wage anymore. And the Wizard Product Review, as much as I loved doing it, I had no financial gain from doing it, and it took probably 2 to 2.5 days a week to put together, especially as I had to travel to Rugby in order to film it. And then later Northampton, it got further and further away. So I kind of made the decision that I can either carry on doing the Wizard Product Review and ultimately have to drop out of magic and get a proper job, or I could just focus on building a business and trying to be more successful. And that's why I left the magic community. There were other reasons. There were other reasons, this thing called Red, and we don't need to get into all of that stuff, but the main reason was I needed to actually focus on my business, and the magic community was a bit of a distraction. I needed to focus on other aspects of my life, and I needed to focus on my family, and it was the right decision to make at the time, but it was the right decision to come back into magic when I did.
Yeah. True. In fact, I knew you as this fantastic coin magician, and I always thought of, and I think most people, if they didn't see you perform, they thought, oh, you're some technical skill guy. And I was like, okay, you know, I can sort of associate with Craig in that sense. But the first time I met you was in Deptford. We were doing a show for James Samuel, and oh my gosh, I was just blown away with your performance on stage. You were just this larger than life character on stage. I'm thinking, wow. I mean, I was so honored to be performing with you. Honestly, you're one of the best magicians I've seen.
Oh man, that means a lot coming from you. Seriously.
Honestly, watching you is unbelievable. The way you handle the crowd, and I'm not the only one. I'm sure. In fact, if you haven't seen Craig perform, just go and do yourself a favor. Go and watch him perform, because I know that most people have seen you just on your YouTube channel and they see you demonstrate tricks, but you're an actual wonderful performer. In fact, speaking about performance, Ryland, wow, Blackpool convention. I mean. Yes. Please tell us about that. What's it like seeing your son on the biggest magic stage in the world?
It's amazing. I can't describe how proud I am of him that at the age of 9 he's able to walk out in front of 2,500 magicians and own the stage and do such a good job. And you know, it's not just that, it's watching him demo on the Alakazam stand and watch it. He performs constantly and he loves it. You can just tell when he's watching it, he loves it. And I've never been more proud, but I've never been more scared, because I'm there standing in the wings. There's 2,500 magicians in the audience, and I've just sent my 9-year-old child on stage, and I know that there's nothing I can do to help him. He's on his own. And it's a terrifying, he wasn't nervous. I have never been so nervous in my life. I almost was physically sick standing in the wings watching him. And yeah, it's an incredible moment. I mean, I would trade everything I have achieved, or everything I'm going to achieve, I would trade it in a heartbeat to help him fulfill his dreams, whatever they may be. And if that isn't magic, that's fine. But you know, right now, as long as he doesn't find girls anytime soon, magic is his life, you know, and that
is wonderful. I watched the whole video of, you know, I think it was Ryland, you talking about Blackpool and the whole experience, and you know, the way he handled whatever happened on stage, and it was just wonderful to hear. I mean, I don't think I could ever do something like that, and it's unbelievable. When I went, I was like, shook his hand, I was like, you're amazing. He probably heard that from like thousands of other people, so I was like, okay, let him enjoy his time. So you're definitely going to come back to Blackpool then?
Oh, in a heartbeat, in a heartbeat. I will give you an exclusive for your YouTube channel.
Okay.
I've just, and I haven't told this anybody, I haven't mentioned it, I'm not planning on mentioning it on my channel for a long while, but I've just agreed to a deal with Magic Scene, that we are publishing a book a big book on my tricks and my life and my story.
Wow.
And there's going to be all about what I've done in magic and what lessons I've learned from it, along with a whole bunch of tricks as well. And it's going to be a big book on magic, and it's going to be released at Blackpool 2023. So literally, you're the first person I've told that outside of the guys at Magic.
There you go, you heard it first. Amazing. Wow. That sounds incredible. Your whole entire life in a nutshell.
And you know what? It's insane because we're sitting here in the Devant room, right?
Yeah.
We're sitting in the Devant room. 2 years ago, I wasn't even in the magic community. I'd been kicked out of the magic circle. And I had nothing to do with the magic community. 2 years later, I'm sitting here with you, having just done a lecture and got a standing ovation at the Magic Circle, having just lectured at Blackpool, the world's largest magic convention, having just come back from Penguin, having been flown over to Penguin to produce a load of DVDs. I've just had the best-selling trick of all time with the Quantum Deck, and it blows my mind that, you know, how amazing the magic community is. That I've come back and, you know, I've worked really hard, like 27 videos, 28 videos a week. I've worked really hard, but I'm just having an absolute blast hanging out with magicians. And to see where my life is right now compared to where it was 2 years ago, I never in a million years would have expected to ever set foot in this place again, let alone having done a lecture. It's surreal, Brendan. It's just surreal, but in a really good way.
I mean, I'm so glad that you're back, just because what an asset you are to this industry and to our community, because the amount of knowledge that you give people for free on YouTube, and I saw your Quiver video, and you make a lot of videos, valuable information, you're just giving it out there to magicians. And that's what I want to do when I started this whole channel, was interview people and talk about, you know, what advice you could give to magicians. For me, it's all about helping people and, you know, focusing on their dreams and what they want to do. And I think you're doing that, but so much better than what I'm doing. So honestly, if you haven't subscribed to Craig's channel, I'm going to leave all his social media links below this video. Make sure you go and check it out, because it's wonderful. Seriously. We don't have a lot of time because we have the Magic Circle, and I wish I had another one. So do comment below if you want to see Craig back on the channel.
I would be happy to come back on your channel. I will even come down to London to do this with you. You just say that. You just tell me when.
Perfect, and we'll fix another, maybe a place, because at the Magic Circle, you know what it's like, so busy, everyone's saying hello and that sort of thing. But I'm sure we'll do this again at some point. But otherwise, in fact, I'll let you close it, because with your amount of experience, I've even forgotten how to end my videos. So I'll let you take it away, and go ahead.
Well, I'll do it as I would one of the videos on my own channel. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in to Brendan Rodrigues' YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, you want to see Brendan interview more people, you want to see more content, then you have to do something in return. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. All of this stuff really helps Brendan. Don't forget, he's going to be back again really soon. Show him some love, show him your support, subscribe, like, comment, do all that fun stuff, and I'll be back on his channel very soon. But on behalf of Brendan, my name's Craig. Thank you very much. We'll see you again.
See you later, guys. Bye bye. Myself, I started in my late 20s. Wow. So yeah, I'm 40 now. So about 12 years, 13 years ago, I think I started magic, and yeah, that's great. I'm going to obviously cut a lot of stuff out, because I'm going to be editing a lot. Yeah, you don't edit your videos, don't you? You just go...
Generally, I just kind of shove them up. Yeah.
Wow.